Brave Maker Show is hosted by Tony Gaffestone and Christina Jackson. Thanks for tuning in. It's showtime.
Hey, it is showtime. Happy Friday. It's the live Brave Maker Show. Yes, my name is Tony Gaffestone, and I get to be your happy host today. I am headquartered in Redwood City, California. I'm the founder of Brave Maker. And why do I do this thing every week? Because I love storytelling. I'm a filmmaker and an actor and director, and I love films and all creative collaborations. That's why I do this. I love talking about that kind of stuff. And my co-host, as always.
Hey, Tony, what's going on? I'm so happy to be here. I'm your happy, what is it called? Co-host here.
Happy co-host.
Yeah, and I'm super excited for today's show. This is awesome. We're actually kicking off our Black History series today, January 29th, because why not? You know, like, why not? We should jump in.
We need to. Black Lives Matter. Brave Maker exists to elevate brave stories for justice, diversity, and inclusion. That's our mission. We love talking about the arts as a way to impact culture. By the way, Christina and I love being on social media, so you can follow Christina at Christina Ray with a W Jackson, and I am Tony Gaffestone. That's a little Italian. There's an I in there. So Gapastione. So find us, talk to us. We love connecting. But we always start our show every week with this one question. How did you brave your way this week? Meaning, what did you do to advance your creative goals? What did you do this week, Christina?
So this week, I dove into writing my own autobiography. Such a shocking experience and something to do. If you've never done it, I highly recommend it. And I recommend sitting down and writing your autobiography from the lens of love. Like, don't just sit down and write out, I was born here and did this and then that and this happened and blah. Because I started off like that and I was like, this is missing something. And of course, what are we always talking about on this show? What am I always talking about? Love, of course. I was like, what if I approach this autobiography through the lens of love and I tell the story that way? So that's what I'm doing. It's been a phenomenal experience, and it actually started as a class assignment. Thank you, Melissa Thompson. She's my acting teacher from Powerhouse Acting Studio in Oakland.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah, write it from a lens of love, more than just all the details of the chronology of your life. Talk about who you are from an object of affection. That's cool. So I am a proponent of learning all the time. You know, when we do our screenwriting workshops, we're always saying one of the best ways you can learn to be a screenwriter is by reading scripts. So this week I was reading the script for Promising Young Woman starring Carey Mulligan. Oh my gosh, the script is so good. The film is so good. So I watched the film and then I was reading the script, and it's just a great way to learn like how to be a better storyteller. So that's how I'm trying to brave my ways, by learning how I can be a better screenwriter. So that was my thing. So listeners who are listening on the podcast or you're watching live, we always like to encourage you. What are you doing to brave your way? It only takes one decision, one thing a week. If you just did one thing a week, you could move your projects forward. No more complaining, no more hoping someone else is going to make it happen. No more manifesting. Vision boards are great, but if you're not taking action and doing stuff, like, it's all about making. That's why we're called Brave Maker. You have to make stuff. Okay. All right. Let's introduce our special guest, Christina. Why don't you give Lamel's little bio, because we actually have our first guest that was related to one of our former guests, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So we
Lamel.
are welcoming.
Hey,
we're welcoming.
it's good to see y'all.
California-based rapper Lamel's in the house.
Definitely.
This is fantastic. So, Lamel, do you want to tell us the connection? How did we get you booked on the show? Who told somebody on the show? They were talking you up. They're like, you got to check out his music and raw. And I was like, what? So I had to jump on YouTube and check out their tracks. And Lamel, your lyrics, your music, and you have a lot going on. And we don't have a ton of time. I want to tackle so much of it. But I love that your journey is a lot. You're capturing and sharing a lot in such a vulnerable way about how you're chasing your dream. And as this is in celebration of Black History Month, like you and I, like we're able to do what we do as artists because of who has come, because of who has come before us and fought so hard. And we're still in this fight for civil rights. There she is.
There we go.
There's Mama Londi,
the queen herself.
Londi Maduro is Lamel's mom. She was on a couple of months back, and we loved it. Like almost, I think within a week, Christina was on the email chain saying, "Lamel."
She was on it.
Yeah, so we're happy that we could have you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you guys connecting the dots and reaching out to me. My mom's amazing. She owns her own entertainment company. She's a director. She's acted. She's been behind the scenes. Even helped with editing. She's accomplished so much. Her company, Blue Child Entertainment, and she has a documentary about prostate cancer that essentially went viral. And it's incredible. It's spread across the world, and she's been able to. It's called The Silent Killer. My bad. It's called The Silent Killer, and she's been able to spread the word and bring awareness to males. You know what I'm saying? Especially people who are essentially scared of getting tested and going to check on their health. She's kind of giving them that comfortable cushion to put them in front of regular people like you and me and doctors who can really just explain to them, to kind of give them that closure, that comfort to check on their health. And in my opinion, through her creativity, she's helped save lives. And I think that's major. So,
oh my gosh. Through her creativity, she's helped save lives.
Yes, she has.
See, here's the thing for me when it comes to Brave Maker, people often say, well, we're just entertaining, we're just storytellers, we're not curing cancer. But the thing is, storytelling can. It truly can save lives. Storytelling can save lives.
It can, because you could change someone's whole mental state of mind, after a conversation. And I think that's really important. She's just giving people the option to believe. And what was really heartfelt for us is that during the making of this documentary, my grandfather, which is her father, caught prostate cancer. And he was, because she had to deeply inform herself and research and study and reach out to all these people, we essentially were able to help point him in the right direction to tackle what he has going on. And that was big, because you never think that you are saving someone in your family, you know what I'm saying? So I think that was really important to see that, that love and all that energy she put in really come together and connect for her and my grandfather, and for all the other dads and sons out there who are terrified and clueless, So I think that was really important. But yeah, my mom, man, one of a kind, one and only.
Yes, let's continue to spread the love. And if you're listening to this and you or someone you love has not had your prostate checked, you got to get on.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely
get done. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, Lamel, we want to jump in. So also know that you have a musical connection with your mom. Was it always something you wanted to do, or what did you first know? You know what? I'm committing myself to this, and I'm gonna make it, and I'm not gonna give up. Like, when did you decide that?
Well, it's funny because I actually had to I had this thought, like I had to really take time to think about this for myself, because a lot of the time my family tells me like, well, I love to talk. So I usually talk about everything I'm trying to do or I'm really interested in. And I guess music was never something I talked about. It was just something I really enjoyed. So I would, sing songs like everybody else and whatnot. But if you, I guess, look at my history, I mean, it wasn't even just my mom. It's everyone in my family. Like growing up as a toddler, I was making up songs with my grandma. I have a song actually on my album called Gunda Gunda, And that was a song that I made up with my grandma when I couldn't even talk words. You know, we would do melodies, and we would do, you know, baby words, and then my auntie would make up nursery rhymes. And so I was always around music. You know, we went to the church, and my family singing in the church. So music was just something I really enjoyed. And I never really thought about it as a, I guess, career, or as something that I was planning on doing for the rest of my life. It wasn't until, I guess, middle school, I was doing a lot of poetry, and my teacher she kind of forced us to do poetry to keep us, you know, productive. So she's like, hey, you're the best poet in the class. And, you know, she's like, if you keep doing poetry, you don't have to do this and you don't have to do that. So, you know, you're a kid, you're like, I can get out of doing work. Like, so, you know, wow. I was writing up a storm, and then I kind of fell in love with poetry for a little bit. And then I wrote everyone, you know, my family and friends poems, and it kind of died down. But I realized that what I guess sparked the dream was 11th grade. I made the decision to really be put a label to it, which is be a rapper, you know, or be an artist. I don't want to say a rapper, because when it comes to music, you really just branch in what you feel comfortable. So I made the decision to be an artist after I guess depression. You know, my mom was gone in Orange County, and my dad was gone somewhere else, and I was going, you know, finishing my last year of high school. Possible chance I could move around, you know, and my environment, it didn't, you know, it was very bouncy, and my auntie was trying to help take care of me. You know, it was very wishy-washy for me, and I was kind of lost in a sense, and I didn't really have a direction, or at least I felt I didn't have anyone to talk to or direction. And you know, when you don't have anyone and you're young, you kind of turn to what influences you. And at the time, music was influencing me, and I kind of felt like no one understood me. And I ended up, as a kid, I grew up in Inglewood, California. And so everyone knows a Crenshaw rapper, obviously, by the name of Nipsey Hussle. And I was listening to Nipsey, and this is when Nipsey wasn't, I guess, super big where everybody knew about him. You know, it was mostly if you're from Inglewood, or if you kind of know the LA underground scene, you know who Nipsey Hussle is at the time. And so I was listening to Nipsey, and, you know, I kind of felt like no one would get who I am and what I faced and what I came through. I've overcome. And I listened to him, you know, someone who grew up essentially blocks away from where I grew up, you know, less than 10 blocks. And to hear how he talked about business and never giving up, and how you don't have to be a product of your environment. And it was really touching my heart. So I was like, you know what? I don't know how to express it, but it's faster than poetry. I don't know what's faster than poetry, but it's something. So I just start, you know, writing, and then it just felt really pure. And I'll never forget this moment. I remember I called up. You know, everybody got the little local rapper at their school, which is my best friend. But I called up my friend Shango, and my best friend Tim, God rest his soul. And and my brother Noah, and I was like, hey, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? And they told me, just keep going. And I think that encouragement was enough to make me realize, like, this is something special. And I really started tapping into who I was as a person. And that's something I had never I guess done before. You know, growing up as a kid, you're kind of always given direction. You never kind of seek direction unless you have to. And I started seeking direction within myself, and through my lyrics, people started coming up to me and telling me that I was helping them through their depression. And I was like, whoa, like, I wasn't expecting that. You know, I was just making a song. I wasn't expecting to become this icon or anything like that. I was really just expressing myself, and through that expression, I was able to help other people. And I helped a lot of people. People message me all the time telling me, please never stop, because you're helping me get through what I get through. And I just felt like I had something to say. And from that moment, I was just like, hey, this is it. You know, I felt it in my soul before I felt it through any other means or purpose. And I just stuck with it. I haven't stopped, and we're going on 11 years.
Wow, that's incredible.
Thank you.
I like the simple thing that you had a friend just tell you to keep going. I mean, those are just like two words. Everyone says, keep going, don't quit. But sometimes those are really powerful moments when a friend believes in you. And I think every single artist is going to be faced with those obstacles that are going to challenge them to quit and to give up. And I almost think like, I want you to talk about 99 percenters and what that means for you. But I almost feel like the reality of successful artists are really the people who persevere, because every day I want to quit, to be true, be transparent. Like, this is hard, like to be a creator, to put stuff out in the world, to sacrifice your time, your energy, sometimes your family, what you want to do because you feel like you have to put something out of the world. It's hard. Yes. And so many people don't have the guts or the courage to keep going. It's the people who are the ones who push through it, who make this stuff happen regardless, are the ones who are truly successful. So way to go to have those kind of people in your life to do it, Lamel.
Thanks.
So talk about that. Talk about the whole 99 percenter and what that means for you.
All right. Well, I wanted to let you know, I totally agree with you. I go through the same thing that you go through. In fact, 6 years into my career, when you're writing music for hours and it's like really, I write line by line. I make sure every single line has a meaning, not necessarily because it has to, but just because that's who I am. I'll spend 5 times. I'll mix a session 5 times and I'll re-record a song 3 times until it's perfect. Just for the simple fact that once it's done, it's done. I'll never go back. And so I've had those battles where I'm like, man, I've been doing this so many times and trying to get this one song where other people probably have spent as much as I have into a whole project. And I'm doing this one song and I've wanted to give up too. But I guess what really kept me going is I had to change my perspective, because for the longest time, I think where artists and creative mess up is that they see the chase or the dream as a goal. And so I really stopped looking at things as I'm chasing them and more so as a lifestyle, because realistically, I would, people tell me I'm amazing and I'm great. And it's like, well, how come I wasn't feeling like I was amazing and great? And then I realized that it's because I was chasing a destination and I was putting a time limit on it. And you can't put a time limit on creativity. And you have to realize that it's a lifestyle, man. And if it's a lifestyle, I'm going to do it forever. So if I'm going to do this one thing forever, then why be sad about it now? It's something I'm going to be doing till, my time here is done. And that really woke me up because I've been doing this 10 years. And, when you hit the decade mark of anything, you're like, okay, like, when is it going to happen? But my grandfather really straightened me out and was like, hey, man, once committed, never retreat, and understand that this is a lifestyle. This is something that you love to do. This is who you are. This isn't a destination. And that ties in, I guess, to being a 99 percenter. So actually, I'm glad you asked me this. So what a 99 percenter is. So pretty much a 99 percenter is someone who didn't forget all of the hard work and the means that they put into being who they are. A lot of people tell you, hey, I want to be rich and successful, which I guess you could label the 1%. Or people tell you, I'm authentic, I'm real, and they keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, you weren't always like that. There were steps and traces of who you were that built up to who you are now. And that's what the 99 percenters is. It's remembering the late nights that you didn't go to sleep, the dinners that you missed to put into your craft, the depression that you faced that you took the time to get over, and when there was no one else telling you, you can do this, keep going. Like you were saying, every day you're like, man, I wake up and this is tough. But you look in the mirror and who's cheering you on, Tony? You know what I'm saying? You are. So it's like, that's a 99 percenter. Someone like you and Christina who are taking the time to keep going, even though the destination might feel far away or it might not be immediate. It's someone who remembers those percentages they put in to making it to that 1%, that 100%. And that's why it's not 100, it's 99, because you're the missing link. You know what I'm saying? But it's just to remind you that all these other pieces that you devoted to what you're trying to do are still there. A lot of people don't want to talk about them not being successful. And it's like, man, I've been homeless, I've had no money, you know, I've been all these things, but I've been successful, I've been up, you know, I got to open up for some artists that kids dream to open up for, you know, but it's an uphill and a downhill battle. And you got to be okay with remembering and appreciating where you came from, because that's what made you who you are.
Oh man, that is so beautiful. I love what you're pointing to as artists. It'd be so easy to just be looking ahead and wondering when am I going to reach whatever level of success we have pictured in our mind. And then we miss the joy of the journey. And
Yeah,
that's what
for
makes it
real.
like so dark and so sad. Like the journey is the joy. Like this is the experience. What we're doing now. Not when we're
Yeah.
watching Lamel get his Grammy on stage. You know what I mean? Like that's for
Thank
later.
you.
But right now we're
Yeah.
talking about the music and the lyrics and your dreams. So can you tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about what are some of the dreams that you realized? Who have you opened for? What are some moments in your career in the last 11 years that have just blown your mind?
Well, I got to open up for so when I was before, I guess days before COVID, but in the past when I really started rapping for about the first 3 or 4 years, I was rap was just something so enticing to me because I grew up in a very musical family. And so I heard all types of music, you know, my auntie playing Genuine and all those kind of tracks, you know, slow motion for me. And, you know, I'm a little kid. And then my mom playing Sade and Jill Scott and Lauryn Hill. And then my grandfather playing jazz. And, you know, hip hop, me really jumping into hip hop was more so like the people I was around as a kid. Like I would get rides from home, and my boy's cousin would play Lil Wayne and stuff. And you know, my parents were really smart. They let me listen to the radio, but they also were very cautious about what I was digesting, because they knew that they couldn't always be there and they were working. So when I really I guess discovered Nas, I discovered him on my own. Um, in discovering Nas, I had known about rapping and I had started rapping, but I didn't really, you know, I didn't know anything. I didn't know there are different genres and you can rap like this
Mhm.
or what a cadence was. I was like, hey man, I used to write poetry and I have this feeling inside of me and I want to express it. And so when I heard Nas, I heard how he was expressing his emotions and how he was describing. And I'm a very, very detailed or analytical person. I analyze every little detail. And I was analyzing all of his words. And I was like, man, this guy is going back and forth through time and all these things. And so then I was like, yo, like, I like how I love his presentation. So after that, I was like, yo, I want to do my best to make music that is as transparent and as clear as possible. And that really got me diving into hip hop, which led me to doing just a bunch of shows. And I started doing shows at the observatory with this artist named Wasani. And when I was doing when I was doing songs with this artist named Wasani, we would do a bunch of shows together out in Orange County at the observatory. And I got the pleasure of opening up with him for Wiz, and we opened up for Currency. I got to open up with him with Waka Flocka, and we did Too Short and E40. And that was really when I started seeing like, okay, a little piece of the game, you know, because you have to talk to promoters and stuff like that. And so that's when I really started seeing like, well, I love just rapping my heart out. So if I could just get on stage and just rap my heart out, I have no problem with that. And so that was kind of the start for me when it came to seeing that this thing was, I guess, possible. But for the most part, I kind of once I started rapping, I knew, and I wasn't scared, but I really wanted to make my family proud. And I had been doing engineering for a long time in high school, and I was going to try and get a scholarship or at least try to go to an engineering college and get a good job. And I had two uncles of mine who were merchant Marines. I was talking about going to the merchant Marines, and they sat me down and they heard just a little bit of my music. I think I had one or two songs. And, you know, they gave me the family talk, you know, and so they sat me in the room and they're like, hey, man, no one's here. What do you really want to do? And I was like, well, I want to do this, da 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 da. And he's like, look, what do you really want to do? And I'm like, well, I started making music, and like this, it touched my soul. Like I really had never knew that I could express myself in this way. And so I was like, I want to do this. And he was like, you should do that. I could, like, this is something you'd be good at, and I can see it. So I ran with it. I never looked back. But I had to change my perspective on it because I kept seeing it as a dream for a long time. And it made me feel like I was reaching for something, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't grab it. So I got to make another song, got to make another video, got to perform. And I was burning myself out, not really paying attention to my health because I was so honed in on music. And then I realized, like I said earlier, it's just a lifestyle. Like, whether you make one song now or a song tomorrow or next week or next month, if it's who you are, if it's something you love, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to leave you at any moment. And so through those realizations, I was able to keep going. And I ended up getting on the radio a few times. I have a song called Bonnie and Clyde. And thanks to my boy Najee, he's actually pretty big in the behind the scenes of music. He was able to pull strings for me and get me on the radio in Atlanta and got me in Georgia, Ohio, and everywhere. And I was like, wow, like it really showed me that I just got to apply myself. That's all it takes. You just got to apply yourself and really just not wait for any opportunity. And I think that was the biggest make or break for me, which was waiting on my opportunities, because I appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity, being able to talk to you guys. But had you not have given me the opportunity, then I would have to, I got to interview myself. I got to, what I'm saying? So you got to create those opportunities for yourself, because when you do that, people just see you care. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you are speaking our language, Lamel.
Right.
Thank you.
Preaching. Oh, I love it. So many good things, so many good nuggets. So if you're just tuning in, maybe you found us on YouTube or Facebook or any of our social media. We're talking with rapper Lamel here, Christina Jackson and I'm Tony Gappistone. And we're talking about basically the art of braving your way and making a space for you. How, if you know you're passionate about something, how it doesn't just become a destination that you go after, but it becomes a part of who you are. This is who you are. And so you learn to express yourself in that and create a way. And I think I get really frustrated for artists who, because we often have to take on that, like the struggle, the struggling artist. And it's totally hard. But part of the reason why I think it's hard is because we have a lot of waiting to do. And I'm not against waiting. I said earlier, perseverance is one of the ways we will succeed. But the thing about the waiting is, the waiting has to be an active waiting. So I'm waiting. So I pitched this person over here, my project, that I'm waiting for funding or for partnership. But while I'm waiting, like Christina said earlier, I'm writing my memoir, or I'm working on another film, or I'm reading something so I could grow, or I'm storyboarding something else. This is how I hear you saying the past decade, you've had so many things. And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 things just start to pop up. Yeah. I love that. I think that is like what we have to do. I agree. So good.
I agree, because you need to have a plan, essentially, to feed into what you're trying to do. And I'm not saying you have to make this extravagant plan, but you need to realize that you need more than one plan. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people tie into having this one plan that is supposed to cater to all their needs when it comes to their creativity. But creativity is a melting pot of many different mixtures. So it's like you need to focus on maybe writing your script or writing your song, and then as you're focusing on that, the creative plan, you got to make a financial plan. It doesn't have to be this $1,000, $7,000 plan, but it would really help if you budget a little bit, because if you were able to budget out, I do this on a weekly basis and it leaves me with $100 to $200 a week. So it's like, okay, I know that if I save up for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I'm looking at, $600, maybe $800. Oh, and then you go back to your creative plan and you see that your videographer, he'll shoot a music video for $800. Now you know that every 5 or 6 weeks you can shoot a video if you save it, and then you create a plan. Well, every other 6 weeks I'll release a video. and that shows consistency from your listener, but they don't know that it's two different plans. They all think it's tied together. And every single song I have ever released, I planned how I want to do it, when I want to drop it, and what sounds better coming next. Like if you listen to my music in a playlist, I did that for myself. Like, oh, I like to listen to this song and this song and this song, a certain pattern. I've patternized all my music for my comfortability, and everyone seems to like it. So,
Wow.
That's really how I feel about that, because I notice as an artist, we just take on everything, and it's so overwhelming because we want the world, and breaking it into pieces isn't a bad idea. That's why I told you I'm changing up my writing style, and I'm just writing, and then I'm just recording, because it teaches you patience, but it also teaches you focus, because you're focusing on the bigger picture. Maybe you'll miss some of it, so I just tackle everything a step at a time.
Yes, I love it. One thing at a time. Seriously, we need a plan. Artists need a plan. We have to put things. I put things on my calendar, and if I'm going to have a due date, it just encourages me to get it done and to work that plan. I love it. Christina, do you have any? I want to talk before we end. I want to talk about making these music videos and the working
and Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
So we're obviously big fans of the visual medium. Music obviously has all this emotion connected. When you put visuals to it and you partner with a cinematographer who's turning the camera on and filming it, when you have production design and all this other stuff, and you have a lot of animation too. Like I really love some of the animation stuff that's happening here. You're mixing all this stuff together. So share about that process and how that works for you. Rookie of the Year.
So let's so we could start about, we'll start about Rookie of the Year. So I really, really wanted to drop a foundational project as an artist. I feel like your foundation is everything in the musical game, and you have to be attentive to what people are going to look at you for. And I realized that I just love to make music. Like I don't really genre like, oh, it's a hip hop song or it's a trap song or it's an R&B song. I really just make what I feel. I hear something, I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. And I could feel my emotion on it. I want to speak on it. And so what it turned out to be was I wanted to make a foundational project, but this project had to be hip hop, for the sole factor that hip hop, I guess, essentially saved my life, I guess, if in a way. And so it had to be hip hop because that was my foundation, and it had to be real. So that's what Rookie was. It was my introduction to the game. That's why it's called Rookie of the Year. And I wanted it to be my core, because as I progress, if you look at my radio single, which was Bonnie and Clyde, it is not a hip hop track, but you can play it and you can dance and groove to it, or you can talk and mingle with some friends and it play in the background and you might catch it and you're like, oh, I like this. But it's nothing that you have to sit and pay attention to the point where you're like, wow, this is overwhelming. The energy behind this track is very fierce. And I wanted to make an effort to start with hip hop, because as my career progresses over time, I know that hip hop isn't going to be the only thing I make. And one thing I didn't want people to do was feel, because a lot of people who support me know me through hip hop. I didn't want them to think that I threw hip hop away, because I could never, that's what got me where I am. It's really what sparked the spark for me. And so I knew that it had to be hip hop, or I wanted it to be hip hop. And I really wanted to try to make a full length project. And so it's a concept tape. So if you listen to Rookie, it's all based on someone who's riding in their car trying to get a radio signal, but the radio station keeps cutting out and switching. And so I wanted to broadcast all areas that I touch musically. So as the channels in the album keep switching, so does the genre of hip hop, of rap. And so for the first 5 songs, for my listeners, 5 or 6 songs for my listeners who really thrive and feed off my hip hop, that's what I gave them. And then as you continue to listen to the tape, it completely changes, and you get a little bit of pop, and you get a little bit of trap and you get a little bit R&B, and then we tie it and end it off with hip hop. So you kind of got every little station, you know, that was changing and cutting out. And that's kind of what the concept behind Rookie of the Year was in my vision for it. And as for the videos, really 48 Hours was a dedication, the video, to my uncle AJ, who had passed away. And so he's from Washington. That's where him and my grandfather hail, my great uncle. They love Washington. They've lived out there forever. And so if you notice in the video, I'm wearing a Supersonics jacket, and that's the one of the first basketball teams, you know, in Washington State. So that was kind of a dedication to him in a sense. And he would always push me, you know, he gave you that crazy look, you know, but he would always tell you, like, if you're going to do something, you know, you stick to it and don't let nobody tell you any different, you know, whether it be him or my mom or anyone else, not even myself. He's like, stick to it and follow through. And that's why if you look in 48 Hours, everything is very poor. You know, the bed is on the floor and I'm writing I have a vision board and I'm trying to write out my future, but you can see that I haven't got there yet. And that was the message. I'm starting at ground zero, but that wasn't my focus. You know, my focus was on what I'm trying to accomplish. As you see, I'm writing and I'm trying to configure some type of plan, some type of vision, and I'm throwing the papers out. It isn't coming together, but see, look, keep going. I never stopped trying. And that was the biggest push of 48 Hours. It was really just to keep telling people to keep going, because the song itself I didn't go to sleep. This is when I was ghostwriting and I was bouncing around LA and doing things for other artists. My boy Reese, who mixed and mastered, he's a co-mix and mastering engineer of Rookie of the Year. We stayed up for 2 days straight, and we had the honor to mess with these artists named Trey and Shaq, who are a part of the Diddy camp. And we were just, you know, freestyling with them, but I hadn't slept in 2 days. I didn't go to sleep at all.
Oh, man.
We were just in the studio, and then Shaq was like, hey, man, you know, I know you're tired, but get the energy, get the creativity flowing in the room.
Get it going.
Yeah, Shaq is a real hip hop, you know, head. They're New Yorkers, so they're real hip hop, and he inspired me. I was like, bro, like, me and him are going back and forth, and then all of a sudden he's like, hey, bro, I gotta go. So then I'm tired, but I left with all this creative energy. So we went home and I recorded this whole song pretty much one take. I was like, yo, we one taking this, like. And I was just feeling it. And I had to name it 48 Hours because of the energy that was pushed behind it.
It's great.
And so cool. That's really this video. And I wanted to take when it came to the animation, I wanted to just take a different approach. And I got the honor of going to school with this guy. His name is Dylan O'Donovan, and he is a cinematographer. And he's super cool guy, amazing editor. And I was working with him, and pretty much he said, well, you know, what do you want to do? And if you look at Overly Dedicated, which was my first music video, I did minor animation. But I was like, you know, I want to do something that no one on my independent level is doing. And I was like, let's go full. Oh, there he is. I was like, let's go full animated. So he was like, all right, man, I never did anything like this, but I can try. And so we sat down and we wrote out a vision and a script of what I wanted. And it took us a whole month. And the crazy thing is this kid drew every single piece of every character in that music video. He drew with his hand on a tablet. He lost his pen and drew it with a hand. And so it took us a month to tie it all together, and we released it on Halloween. But I really just wanted to show people, you know, a different approach from an indie point of view. It isn't just about rapping in front of areas, you know, a car or a liquor store or your homies. I like anime, you know, just like the next person. I like cartoons, and, you know, we all grew up off of watching cartoons, Tom and Jerry, and I wanted to put my anime, I guess, twist to what I was doing, and it caught my fan base off guard.
Yeah, I loved it, man. I was really inspired by. I'm working on a project right now that actually gave me some ideas watching this. So
Sick.
I'd love to kind of know more about how you all worked, and like, was this all in like Premiere? What did you all edit it in? Do you know?
So I don't know what he drew it in, because he drew it frame by frame.
So amazing.
Yeah, so that kid, like, he stayed up. I would call him and I'd be like, hey, Dylan, like, make sure you're going to sleep, and he would just be like, I'm good. Like, I just drew 5 more characters. So when it comes to the animated aspect, I can't tell you exactly what he used, because he used 3 or 4 different things to make it happen. And he tied it together. And I watched the video and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, Dylan. And we have another animated video coming out this month for Black History.
Please share it with us. We got to share that.
Yeah.
This is really informative. You guys know the album. It's to the song Culture Conditioning. And I really wanted to make an effort to talk about what's going on in society as of now, because I feel like it's very important to kind of give people a sense of direction, especially in the time where our presidency has changed over. There's a pandemic going on. People are very unsure of who to trust, what's good. We're losing faith in the dollar, and then people are losing their jobs and still chasing their dreams. So I really wanted to make an effort to point out what's going on in, I guess, not only my community, but, the Black community, and COVID, and my views on it, and my views on what's happening to my people on a global level, because it's not just happening in the United States, and more so showcase the people who are standing up for my people, because it's beautiful to be able to say it's not just Black people. Yeah. That's beautiful. And I think that I wanted to drop this video on Black History just because it shows, the dream was real. Martin Luther King was, accurate. The dream is alive and it's well functioning. And I think it's important to showcase that, especially being a young artist. But the video is all about just telling the truth. And if you listen to Culture Conditioning, I'm pretty much asking the listeners a question, which is, do you see what I see? And I'm really pointing out certain things that are going on in our community, in our economy. And I wanted to make it animated because, in a sense, to the government and to some individuals, it's a joke, and animation isn't to be taken serious. And so I think that it was a play, it was a play on what I was trying to express, because I feel like people will watch it and some might not take it serious, and some will watch it and be like, what is he trying to make me? What is he trying to tell me? And I just wanted people to think. That's it. I just wanted people to think, like,
When does that drop? When is that coming out?
Well, I haven't set a date for it, but it's for sure dropping around the second week of February, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely help promote in that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm serious. That animation stuff, I'm really interested to talk. So maybe we can email about it. Please email. I'd love to meet that artist.
You should. I'll link you with him. He's an amazing man. That guy is amazing.
Christina's got some comic book stuff she's doing, and we got some other projects we're doing. That's why she always wears a superhero on.
Super awesome.
Yeah, we got it going.
I love it. Yeah, you guys should definitely. I would love to see you guys work with him, because you guys will make something cool.
All right. Well, let's get to our final segment of the show.
Let's do it.
Brave Faves. TV shows, films, books, songs, technology, clothing, podcast, food, and more. These are a few of our favorite people, places, and things. Brave Faves.
All right, Brave Makers, you know the drill. Every week we are dropping one of our favorite things, encouraging you to go watch, listen, taste, experience. What you got for us first, Christina?
So my Brave Fave for the week is Sylvie's Love, starring Tessa Thompson. I've really just been immersing myself in all things love, and I thought it'd be a beautiful Black film to watch, and it is. And she's such a fantastic actress, and you know her from the Marvel movies, of course. Well, actually, she's done so many different things. She's such a fantastic, versatile actress. I'm a fan. I'm gonna figure out now. Let me settle down. Sylvie's Love, available on Amazon Prime. Check it out. It's awesome.
Awesome. Go watch it on Amazon Prime. I love it. Well, Lamel, what do you have?
All right, so today I would have to say what is really motivating me and inspired me was a song that just came out, and it's called Run, and it's by an artist named Shango 0 Point. Shango, like the god, the African god, and that song is really special. The hook set, it goes, oh no, you got me on the run. It's like they don't want me to be great or something. So the reason why I like that song is because he's talking about himself. You know, he's like, it's almost like I don't want myself to be great, because he's questioning his resolve. And I really, really love that song because he makes a conscious decision in the song to just keep going. He's like, yeah, you know, it's like things are holding me back, but you know what? I'm here. And it has a nice bounce to it. It has kind of a Caribbean vibe to it. So it's a nice solid bounce. And he's talking about following his dreams in the big city. And I think that's really cool because I think we all follow our dreams in the big city, essentially.
Yeah.
Shango 0 Point. We'll find that. We'll put a link. I was trying to find it while you were talking, but I think it's S-H. Oh, you did? S-H-A-N-G-O. Shango. Right on. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
All right. My brave fave. It's cool. It's also connected to going after your dreams, but also, Christina, yours. Mine is the Sundance Film Festival is happening right now.
Right.
It just started. Just started yesterday, and unfortunately, we're not there in the snow. But you can do it right in your living room. So I've been going the past 8 years. I often tell people if it wasn't for Sundance, there'd be no Brave Maker, because when I started going to Sundance and experiencing the 10 days in the snow, watching 3 to 4 films every day, going to workshops, meeting artists from all over the world. It is so incredibly inspiring. And it just started yesterday. You can get a pass. There's tickets still available. You can buy one ticket at a time. But if you make an account at Sundance.org, you can get free panel discussions. So you don't even have to buy tickets to the films. You can go to the panel discussions for free. And there's also music and poetry and art and VR. It's incredible. So brave fave is Sundance.
Well,
all right. Well, check it out.
I have to go.
That's right. We forgot to say that he's calling from Oregon. So he was battling a snowstorm right before the show. Yep. Well, that's it for our show today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching live or on the replay. If you are a listener on our podcast, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, and give us a rating. Share with your friends. You know that we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and Brave Maker does all of this work with your generous donation. So if you care to be a donor and get a tax write-off, you can go to bravemaker.com/donate and donate today, or you can use your phone. Just text the word Brave Maker to 44321, and you'll get a link that pops up. And we appreciate any support that you can give. We also encourage you to go to our website and sign up for our e-list, bravemaker.com/buzz, because we often put out free movies and film screenings and really cool opportunities that Brave Maker is doing with artists from all around the world to elevate brave stories for justice, diversity, and inclusion. We love it. So, hey, thanks to our special guest, Lamel. Lamel, you were fantastic.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll hear back from you again. And when you drop your next video, we want to promote it for Black History Month. For sure. So that's it, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. We always say brave stories change the world.
Definitely. And you're the story. Bye, everybody.
See everybody.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at bravemaker.org. Like, subscribe, and share. To become a monthly donor, text the word Brave Maker to 44321 or go to bravemaker.com/donate. Thanks for tuning in.